Around the Ozarks is now on your FM radio. Listen to Around the Ozarks mornings with Grace Gooley as I spotlight local people, stories, and podcasts, all while playing the country legends of the 90s and the hit makers of the 2000s. It's on the Ozarks' best country, 105.1 The Bull.
Fishing's better when you share the experience. Meet new fishing partners through the Co-Angler app. Offer trips, request trips, connect with anglers in your area, and share the cost. Make every trip more affordable and more fun. Co-Angler, connecting anglers one trip at a time.
Welcome to Beyond the Gate, a podcast sharing the grit, growth, and spirits of rural life. From fields to front porches, this is where the heart of agriculture comes alive. Today we go beyond the gates with a man helping people fill their freezers, from processing local beefs and livestock to those first-timers. Chris Cloud, thank you for joining me in the studio.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, Chris, we're going to talk about meat today.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit about education, some things that you've done in your past. But before we get to Cloud's Meats, located in Carthage, Missouri, I want to know more about you. Who is Chris Cloud?
I'm Chris Cloud. I'm a fourth generation meat processor, and I guess that I'm kind of a, let's see, how should I put this? I'm also a recovering ag teacher.
Oh, recovering.
Yes,
I've not
recovering.
Heard that
yes,
yet.
that's kind of a new term I've heard. And, But yes, I retired from teaching high school ag 4 years ago, and I moved into the family business. But yet I've been involved ever since I could walk and talk. I mean, I can just remember those things. But kind of talking about me beyond, my being a retired ag teacher and being a meat processor, I also, my wife and I, Michelle, I think this is year 32 of our marriage.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've got 3 lovely daughters. Kara's the oldest, and she is 27. And
Can't believe
her and her husband, Brett, just recently had our first grandson.
Congratulations
So, yes,
with that.
Mr. Bodie, he's kind of a new to all of us. So we're
Okay, what are we? Are you grandpa, gramps, pawpaw?
I'm Pops.
Pops.
Yeah,
Cute.
I'm Pops. So, but yeah.
Michelle is?
Michelle, we're still working on that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
We're still trying to figure out.
I will warn you that when they get old enough to actually talk, they'll change it.
That's fine.
Because my mother-in-law wanted to be Nee. No, she is Nee. She wanted to be Gran or something like that. Her name is Eileen, and my oldest nephew, he changed it and it was Nee, and all grandkids just call her Nee because I guess he heard Eileen and it kind of fit. But they do what they want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's already got everybody wrapped around his fingers. Yeah.
Of course.
And then middle daughter Caitlin. Caitlin is 24, and Caitlin works here in Springfield actually. For the Springfield Chamber in their public affairs department.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of a new adventure for her. And then Callie she'll be 20 on the 26th. So she will be a junior at the University of Arkansas this fall.
What's she majoring in?
Ag business.
Something?
Still trying to figure it out. Yeah, just kind of ag business is kind of the direction she's wanting to go. But she's also highly involved in the family business. She puts in as many hours as most of us do. So, but yeah.
So they would be the 5th generation? You're the 4th?
No, actually, I'm the 3rd. I'm so sorry. I'm the 3rd. The girls are the 4th.
Okay.
But yeah, Bodie's the 5th.
Oh,
so.
The 5th is here.
Yeah, the 5th is here. So
already, I'm sure, been in the shop.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think whenever Kara comes back to work from maternity leave, I think he's going to hang out with us during the day. So
that's special.
We're looking forward to that. Which Michelle, she had the opportunity to do that. Long story short, we moved back. It was in 1999. We moved back to Carthage. I'd been teaching at Nevada, and Michelle was pregnant with Kara, and so she started working at the plant as a temporary thing till she figured out what she wanted to do.
And she's still there.
That's
but awesome.
The cool thing is all 3 girls got to hang out until they got a little bit more mobile, and so it's kind of been a family business is unique. So.
Exactly. Well, let's take you back to those early years. What was your first memory in the shop? What do you call it?
The plant.
The plant.
I mean, it's always been the plant, and that's kind of, ironically, I mean, I grew up different than a lot of other kids because where we lived, it was just really close to the plant, and my great grandmother lived in our backyard.
Yeah, so you have a little compound.
It's kind of a compound, and then my grandparents lived across the driveway. And so, that was normal to me growing up. And, but the things I can remember is it was basically the plant was a kind of a concrete block structure. It had 2 coolers, a blast freezer. It had, the kill floor, of course, and the cutting area, and just a small area that had the phone, and that was it. It was simple. I think, 3-4 employees, and they got everything done. And so throughout the years, my early memories go back to the late 70s. And so, but then, we started expanding and adding and doing this and that to, currently we're at around 20 employees and lots of different things going on under one roof.
Oh, and we're going to get to all that because I think it's a cool time to be in the meat industry, in the food distribution industry, because so many people are looking for options. And local is one of those options that is thriving. So we're going to come back to that. Let's go back to the very beginning, before it was Cloud's Meats.
Let's see, Emmett and Pauline Hammond. And my dates might be a little off, but I think that they built the plant in about 1950. And then my grandfather and grandmother bought the plant in 1959. So, but yeah.
So, but your grandfather started working there just as an employee, or did he come in?
Well, Grandma and Grandpa, my grandparents moved from the mouth of the James and the Finley.
Okay.
From that general vicinity. And that was in the early 40s. They moved to Jasper. And so they bought a farm outside of Jasper, outside of a villa, actually. And so they farmed, and basically, the wet and the dry years, got them in the
hard time
in the early 50s. And so Grandpa decided he needed to do something different. And so this opportunity came up, and so here we are.
And so he started working there, and then I'm sure that, clearly before your time, but what was meat processing like in the early 50s? I'm sure you've heard stories.
Oh gosh, it's a lot of similarities, but the process was pretty basic. And again, our client base is, we still have clients, their families that we had back in the 50s. I'm not, a lot of those people are gone, but, we're still doing business with some of those same people. But, 2 to 3 employees is all they had. And basically they would cut your meat, they would freeze it, and you better come get it. Because they just had a, limited amount of storage to be able to blast freeze stuff. And so, but yeah.
So who was their customer at that time, those early years?
Well, think of your
local neighbors.
Yeah,
right?
it was our local, basically from that general vicinity. Just and at that time, there was a little processing plant in Webb City. There was one in Alba. There was one out at Avila. So we had these little
all local communities had one, right?
Yes, we had these little custom plants that were just everywhere, but everybody raised what they ate. And so and I'm not sure what changed in terms of, I think society's changed throughout the years, but we're seeing less and less people that are raising their own and eating their own, and that's where that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But yeah.
So, your day to day. So you're a recovering ag teacher. I like to call myself a retired ag teacher, and you'll remember I only taught for 2 years,
right?
So there was no benefits to that retirement. But define a recovering ag teacher before we talk about what your day-to-day looks like now.
A recovering ag teacher. Now, as a professional meat processor, my day-to-day is usually I came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to be in as big a hurry to get to work, but I might stay a little later, but I'm a little more flexible than what I used to be, and I kind of like that. Being self-employed, plus I use the term retired, but I'm really not retired. But I usually roll into the plant between 7:30 and 8, and kind of make a pass through. Just make the loop and check on everybody and tell everybody good morning and see what fires I need to put out throughout the day. check emails, see if I need to, that's kind of what direction I need to go. But I usually kind of have a general plan because I usually sit and watch the news in the morning and drink an extra cup of coffee and before I head in.
So during that, your life has changed. You're not wrangling teenagers 5 to 7 days a week in the classroom. But, you're not in the shop, in the plant, processing. But you did grow up experiencing all that. And I think you took those skills. Well, I know you did. You took those skills that you grew up in the shop into your classroom as a teacher. Meats judging, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, it's
livestock judging.
All those things, played a key role in terms of my upbringing from sitting on the freezer in the original processing plant and watching everybody to, actually, throughout junior high and high school, actually playing a role within the processing plant between, just working on the boning table or helping on the kill floor or doing skin and deer.
Done all of it.
I've done all of it. I mean, here's my thing. I hate to admit this, but I have never butchered a beef by myself.
Yeah.
But and that's fine.
Yeah.
I can watch a YouTube video and I can probably figure it out if I had to.
But you don't need to.
No, I don't need to. And I mean, in terms of breaking things down on the saw, I've never really done that because, throughout high school, really, you're not supposed to do anything with a knife or sharp things in our facility till you're 18. And I graduated high school and
went to college.
I went to college and did my thing. And so, but yeah, no, it's kind of interesting. But the thing, I know what it should look like. And so
and your relationship with your current customers and that growth and that strategic planning for the business, I know is you and the family.
Well, and the other good thing is, I mean, the relationship we have with our customers, but also we've got a great team, and I think that's kind of the key to what we do. I mean, we've got some really good people that work for us, and I mean, like I said, I refer to them as a team or even family. So.
Well, let's talk about processing for a personal freezer. We call them freezer beefs.
Right.
I spent my whole life selling freezer beefs to people, half, whole, quarter beefs at a time off the farm. That is not common language to most people. So what is a freezer beef?
If somebody would call and say, hey, we want to buy a half beef, a whole beef, or whatever, like you said, basically what that would be is an actual side of beef that you get to choose what cuts you want, how you want that cut, how you want it packaged, and then we're going to prepare that for your family. And
all from the same animal.
All from the same animal,
Correct.
Yes.
So for us, we pre-sell ours. So if we have, let's say we have 4 customers, each want a quarter, we send you our beef to process. You then, from there, once it's kind of been sold, how do you educate that first-time buyer?
Okay, the first-time buyer, and usually those are...
Or maybe second or third time that still need to learn.
Here's the thing. It's kind of a scary process.
Yeah.
And not only because, you are planning for the next 6 months, 9 months, however long that you're going to consume this. And also it's a big investment. But I really think that buying the freezer beef or freezer hog is truly the best value. I mean, you get the most bang for your buck. And I think the thing that whenever we talk about people selling freezer beef, one thing that always concerns me is that a customer will call and they say, hey, I bought a half a beef from so-and-so, and my fear is I want to make sure that they're getting the highest quality product. And sometimes I think that the consumer doesn't know what they're getting, and sometimes I think that they're disappointed. And sometimes we get blamed for that.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, in terms of they got a beef that was just not up to par, or what they
fed differently.
They fed differently than what than what we actually buy to sell to our customers. So anyway, Typical, whenever a customer will call in, what we'll do is and I think the average time that we spend with that first-time customer, typically on a beef, is going to be about 20 minutes. The biggest thing is I think the customer, whenever they call in, they need to have an idea. And really, they don't need to know specifically the cuts, but what they need to know is like, what do you feed your family?
What are you cooking at
What do
home?
you typically eat? Well, do you fix roast? I mean, are you a crock pot family? Are you, do you like to smoke things? Do you like to, are you, okay, I'm scared of the grill, and we usually, what do we do with this, or what do we do with that? So anyway, yeah, there's just lots of questions that you have to.
So you really take time and educate that customer, because I've done a lot of cutting orders and at lots of different processors across the area, and sometimes they're just rattling off these questions and like, wait, what did you say? And I do know what I want typically, but they may use different terminology, or they don't feel like they might have time to answer my questions.
Right.
So education's big.
Education's huge. But on the other hand, and the one that we hear more often than others is, I saw this on Bearded Butchers. And so, I saw it on Bearded Butchers, and I want, they want everything they can get out of it, and they want this little steak off the, they want their flat iron, they want their, they want this, and this. And it's like, okay, slow down. Those guys are a little bit of a different, they do things different than we do. We're going to try to get you everything that you want, but some things you can't have T-bones and strips and fillets.
Yes, they don't.
It's
all the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
So there's things like that, and that's education is key.
So the introduction of social media and those reels has probably really impacted your business.
I think somebody made the comment the other day. One of the guys in the cutting room was like, I just want to go up there and whoop their butts.
Those influencers.
I wouldn't want to try, but yeah, the thing is they do a great job. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, sometimes let's keep it simple and go from there.
So let's go through some of those questions you ask. I know you're going to want to know how the thickness of your steaks. How many you want in a package, how, things like that you wouldn't think of. That's how customized you are in processing.
Oh, definitely. And we've, and I'll kind of back up just a little bit, but we've talked about we're looking at some different online type systems where,
you can click.
You can, we're in a click society.
Sure.
So, and I think a lot of people function better with technology, but we just haven't found the right one yet. And I think that's something that sets us apart is our customer service and talking with our customers. It does take us time, but on the other hand, I think
but
that
providing
it's
that option, maybe after they've learned from you the first time.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, we're in the process of kind of doing some things to streamline some processes, but we kind of start at the top. It's the same cut sheet that we've had for years, and we start with do you want stew meat? How many packages do you have? How big of packages do you want? Then we go to the bone and plate. Well, people are like, what's a bone and plate? Well, those are your short ribs and your soup bones. Do you need those things? Well, how do you fix short ribs?
And then it's a whole conversation.
And then I said, okay, go on YouTube and Google how do I cook short ribs. My thing is, if I don't know how to cook it, I'm gonna find a recipe, and so, but like things like that.
So, how many people want the tongue and the heart and?
Surprisingly, more and more people are taking those cuts, but some people say no, I'm good.
Well, we were slamming those TikTok influencers, but they are giving an opportunity for more and more people to be creative in the kitchen, creative on the grill, and educate and learn new things, try new things.
Right.
So that's why you are getting those unusual questions.
Oh, definitely. And my thing is, if you're making an investment, the number of people that we save bones for, or they want to save the fat, but then like whenever they say we want all the fat, well, here's the problem: you have a 400-pound carcass, a whole carcass. You're not going to get much fat. And then so, just, again, those are things that Education.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that again. I don't think I really conceptualized the impact, the educational impact you have on those customers. Mm-hmm. But, you had patience with, teenagers for however many years. So these customers are probably much easier, right?
Right. And it's kind of funny. Michelle and I's office are side by side, and her demeanor and how she does a cut up is so much different than mine.
Mm-hmm. She nicer?
Oh, she is so
more
kind.
patient.
She is so kind.
She is.
But the cool thing is whenever she goes through it, I mean, she's done it for so long though. Mm-hmm. But she focuses. She thinks more like a housewife, or how am I going to fix that, or what am I going to do? Me, I'm kind of a get in and get out kind of guy, and it's like I can do a cut up a lot quicker than she can. But sometimes, I don't know, maybe that customer might not have got the same. Service that they.
Do they ask for her now? Probably no.
Yeah, typically. Yeah.
We'll give her as much highlight as we can.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay, so grilling season, it's here.
Yeah.
What are your go-to cuts for the grill?
Probably, if I was going to grill a steak tonight, I would probably, out of our retail case, which we have a full line retail case that we keep fresh cut steaks. Typically, you can walk in, 6 days a week and you can get a fresh steak. Mm-hmm. I would probably go with a prime Kansas City strip.
Prime at Kansas City strip.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of. Now, I mean, it's hard to beat a filet, but anyway. But
let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
You said a prime.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the grades of meat.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give me a 101.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I guess I would consider prime to be the best. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, basically it's the highest marbled, and that's, the marbling is the flat specks within, in the meat. And, but people are like, but it's fat. And I was like, no, but if I'm going to spend that much money on a steak, I want the best eating satisfaction I can get out of that. So we've got prime as the best, and we've got choice. Choice is still really good. And but we keep prime and choice steaks in our retail case. All of our fillets are going to be choice because you really can't tell the difference between a fillet. It doesn't matter. It's going to be great, but we do buy choice fillets for that. So we keep choice and prime on the ribeyes, strips, and the sirloins that are in our case. I checked earlier and I did notice that we had some fresh T-bones in the case today. T-bones and porterhouses, and those are kind of random things that we just every now and then.
So where are you sourcing the product that the beef, the pork, whatever, that you have in your storefront?
Okay, in our storefront, typically our beef cuts, our steaks. Our steaks are actually, we get those are coming from box beef. And I can buy beef. I can buy good choice beef, but using all the parts and the amount of steaks that we sell, I just, and plus I can't keep it consistent. I want my customer to be able to walk in and the ribeye is the same this week that they got last week or the week before. And so that's my biggest thing on consistency with that. Actually, the one place that we get most of our box beef from is Packers here in Springfield. So we've been customers of theirs for years. But now on our pork side, we still do some boxed pork, but we sell enough sausage and bratwurst and things like that I can use that whole hog. I can use a whole hog all the time. So I've got a number of gentlemen number of families that are raising hogs in the area that I can call and have high quality pork delivered about any time. So
most underrated cut. Let's go beef and pork.
Underrated. Oh my gosh. I would say I don't know. You I think you did kind of stump me a little bit on that. Probably on the beef side. I don't know. I would probably. I really don't know if there's a truly an underrated cut on beef. I think there's some that are overrated. But
I like that. Let's switch the question. What's the most overrated?
What's the most overrated? I would say like flat irons are fine, but I think that, it was kind of a big trendy thing.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of a ribeye strip guy.
Simple, basic.
Simple, basic. Meat and potatoes kind of keep it like that. But on pork, I think what's funny is pork steak. I love a good pork steak, and in our part of the world, it's not as common. But you get up around the St. Louis area, and it's like everybody eats pork steak.
Yeah,
that's the pork steak. What is it at the state fair? Senator Schmidt, he does his. He does the pork steaks, and everybody kind of has their own little
their go-to.
Their go-to on that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, I think that I laugh at this because I just saw. I'm being one of those customers. I just saw a reel and I sent it to my husband recently, and it was a pork steak. I was like, "Oh, we need to do this."
Right.
So I definitely am a consumer of that. Be creative in the kitchen from TikTok. Influenced. I am very much influenced.
No, 100%. I'm the same way. I did pork steaks the other night, but I found a new way to do it from a TikTok. And I wish I could give credit to the guy, but he's one of my favorites to watch. But he did it.
Maybe
different.
we watched the same video.
I know, but it took me 2 hours, which is fine. I mean,
because it was in the oven part of the time and the grill part of the time, and he's an older dude and he does all this.
Yeah, well, this was where you cook it like you cook it done, and then you put it in a pan, and then you put a little barbecue sauce on it, a little beer, and then you pan it, and then you go ahead and you put it in the.
We'll compare TikTok feeds here in a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so back to grilling. Favorite seasonings or favorite preparation? Grill.
Really, and actually, I mean, I'm kind of I don't know. You open my cabinet and Michelle says I have too many seasonings.
Sure.
But one that is kind of my go-to right now. I've really got two different ones. One of them is Meat Church.
Meat Church. Okay.
Yeah, I like the Meat Church line of seasonings. They're kind of really simple. Plus, they have an awesome social media presence, and so do all sorts of recipes and. It kind of tells you how to use our seasonings. And also one called Jim Baldridge. Jim Baldridge is, we were introduced I saw it at Denver.
Okay, I'm looking off camera. We have that. I get it in Denver. Yes, every year when we're out there. Yeah, Baldridge seasoning. Yes.
Secret seasoning.
Yes, yep.
And
got that in the cabinet at home.
And that's kind of one of my go-to for steaks and pork chops and whatever. I like that one, but we sell it though. I mean, we become a vendor for them, and
so you can go to your shop, and that's what we're gonna hit next is where you've come. You can come in and get the seasoning. You can get the meat sticks. You can get the jerky. You can buy steaks for the grill. You can get, all the stuff that you need. One stop shop. Yeah, you can walk in and we've got the seasonings. Also, another sauce that I found the W sauce. The W, I don't think I have that.
Okay, the W sauce is basically I can't say it is Worcestershire
sauce.
Yeah, Worcestershire sauce, and so. Anyway, it's basically on steroids, and so a lot of guys will use that as a binder, on whenever they're smoking briskets or they're smoking different things, and it kind of just changes that flavor spectrum a little bit. So we've got a variety of seasonings. We've got we were carrying some. Oh my goodness, it just left me. But whenever my two oldest girls went to school in Texas. And so they discovered HEB, and so they this line of sauces that comes from Texas. So we carry some of those sauces. Anyway, yeah, it'll come to me as I'm driving home here in a little bit.
Sure, but it doesn't matter anymore now.
But we carry basically all of our different flavors of bratwurst, which I think that there's, kind of going off memory, there's probably 8-10 different flavors of bratwurst that we make there in house. We've got our summer sausage. We've got our bacon case that you can come in and buy bacon. We do a peppered bacon, a jalapeno. We have we also, I think there's some nitrate-free bacon that we've got in the case currently. But then all of our frozen cuts, those are, you can come in and get frozen roast and burger and
So so the options are endless. Buying a quarter, a half, a full beef or pork, storing it at home in a freezer for the year, depending on how large your family is, or coming and buying for special occasions, specific cuts. And then, of course, the full storefront, or just, I'm going to go here once a week and do an old school meat shop and get what I need for the week.
Right. And that's what a lot of our customers do.
Take me through the evolution and growth of Clouds Meats in the last, decade as the customer changed, as the demand has changed.
We are seeing less families. Okay, let's back up. Years ago, people were, they raised it, they fed it, and that's what they fed their family. But as we're seeing that less and less, and basically people aren't raising it, they're not feeding it, but yet they're looking for a place to find locally sourced beef, to fill their freezer. Kind of like the freezer beef concept or the freezer hog or however we want to refer to that. So, that's we've seen that change where people are looking for that guy to be able to buy that hog from or that beef from and do that. So
when did the storefront expand and become what it is today?
It's one of those going off memory, which my memory isn't what it used to be, but we added on in the early mid 80s and kind of added a larger cutting room. We added a retail area that looks completely different than what it does now. And then added another cooler. Let's see, early 90s we expanded and did another expansion where we added basically a bigger retail area, and we also did, throughout the years we added what we call the cold room. The cold room is where we make all of our product.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a specialized room where we make our snack sticks, our, those type of products, specific. We also added a kitchen, so we can also do catering.
Oh, catering. We haven't talked about that.
Haven't talked about catering, yeah.
Is that a fun side?
I kind of enjoy it. My thing is, most of our catering we do is pick up hot. We really don't do very much stuff where we don't do on site. If somebody calls and begs me, I might deliver. We will deliver on occasion, but most everything's pick up hot or pick up cold, where you can take it home and heat it and serve your crew. So we've in the past we've had full-time, folks that have worked on the catering side, but currently I am the cater dude.
You are the caterer.
Yeah, I am the caterer. I was running late this morning because I had an order for some beans, so I made 20 pounds of beans this morning before I was
That's before you drove in from
before
Carthage.
I drove in from Carthage. Yeah.
What's your bean recipe, or is it secret?
Oh, it's secret.
Oh man. Okay. One ingredient besides beans.
Actually, what is it? Chili beans, pork and beans, a can of each, and this will make about 20 pounds. A splash of barbecue sauce, a splash of ketchup, a little bit of liquid smoke, some bacon ends, brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
Yeah. So
do you like spice?
And that's the thing. We keep things pretty basic because it's easier to spice it up than it is to take
it down.
Yeah. So we try to keep things. I'm a little heavy-handed on seasonings, and that's what my wife says. But we just try to keep it pretty neutral, where if somebody wants to heat it up, they can. I mean, we use a pretty safe barbecue sauce. It's just kind of good all around, but not too spicy. But enough.
You talked about your meat sticks. Earlier when we were talking, you talked about what would you I don't know if it was nitrate free or what you what you called it.
Well, and I mean really nitrate free. It's kind of a clean
stick. A clean stick.
The Maha movement is kind of driving what we're doing right now, especially whenever they change the food pyramid, which I was kind of excited to see. And but anyway, everybody's looking for, and actually, we've got some customers that are on the carnivore diet.
Carnivore diet, yeah.
Yeah, the carnivore diet, and they'll, they do eat meat, which I mean that's great.
Yeah.
I can
take that.
I can fix them up.
And you private label stuff
Yes,
too?
private label. We do private label stuff for a variety of customers. Kind of one of our big things is that we also do USDA inspection, and where basically a customer will bring their beef to us. We will process it into cuts. We'll put their label on it. It'll have their label and their farm logo, where they can take those items and they can sell them at farmers markets, or they can sell,
And so that's explained, like you have to have USDA inspection to resell for retail products, correct?
Right.
We do not have to have that if we're selling, if me off the farm, I'm selling a beef that is processed. We don't have to have, it's just state inspected.
Actually, I mean, we can do custom inspection. I mean, no inspection at all.
Okay.
But it'll have the not for sale. Basically, it's the same as you using it for your family, but you've sold it to another family, and so they can do that. But there's few
USDA inspected plants in the state, right?
Between the state inspection program and the USDA inspection, there's quite a few that are out there.
I was thinking USDA was fewer. That would
we're seeing more. We're seeing more and more USDA plants kind of pop up.
I remember back, during COVID, there was very few. I mean, there was just this huge demand for processed.
COVID.
Yes.
COVID.
We don't want to talk about that.
No, and I think a lot of bad things came out of COVID, but I think a lot of good things did it, because I think people figured out that they can cook at home and they can do their own thing. But what was it? I think that during COVID, we had 300 phone calls. People were looking for meat. They were looking for protein, and we were essential. So
but got to keep processing.
Yeah, and my thing is, our normal meat suppliers were having troubles, but we were able to utilize our restaurant suppliers because the restaurants were shut down, and so we were still able to kind of keep the machine running and kind of still providing for everybody that be able to get what they needed.
So COVID provided different types of challenges for the industry. Let's look at today. What are some challenges the industry is facing? Maybe you personally, but the industry as a whole.
I think that I think one of the biggest things, like for instance, one thing that we're seeing as a challenge is we're having a challenge. High beef prices. People are a little apprehensive to pull the trigger on, but I think people are still buying beef because it's so good.
How can you not?
Yeah, I mean, that's I love selling high dollar feeder calves, off the farm. But on the other hand, I really don't like buying high dollar fat cattle. But it's kind of a necessary evil on that. But I think that's one thing. And what in terms of our slaughtering, it's changed the number of people that would either go buy a couple of calves and run them on their 5 acres and feed them throughout the summer, and they would butcher them. They haven't done that the last few years like they have in the past, just because it's so expensive to do that. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things that I see is.
Do you have any issues? You've expanded and you have a number of more employees, 20 you said. Has labor and other regulations hindered any growth in future for you guys, or are you able to find the laborers you need?
We've been pretty fortunate that the folks that we've got kind of stick with us, and you take good care of your people, and they'll take care of you. That's for sure. But finding we've got a few spots that I need to hire, but my thing is I would kind of wait for that
perfect person,
and versus just hiring somebody. I don't need a warm body.
Don't need a warm body.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like for Cloud's Meat?
Oh gosh, some days it's different than others. We're probably at Michelle and I's age, we're at the point where I don't want to do this forever.
Sure.
We are very fortunate that we've got, the girls are interested in the business, and they're, like I said, with 2 of them involved and a son-in-law involved, I would say that, kind of my 10-year plan is I would like to step back, and Michelle and I, travel more and do, it seems like we've done for everybody for all these years, and now it's time for us to do for us. So,
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing the 4th generation take over, and into the future.
5th generation being raised in right along, just like you were and your girls were.
For sure.
How would you say Clouds has balanced the tradition of meat processing with innovation and technology?
It's the same process that my grandpa did in terms of, we're gonna take care of your animal because we know we're feeding your family. From our family to yours is kind of, cheesy slogans that we always.
But it's true.
No, 100%. 100%. I mean, you're entrusting us to do this. And that process has stayed the same. Our equipment has changed drastically. We've gone from, I can remember just like it was yesterday, the old Hobart grinder that, you would dump it in and run it down the tube, but now we have mixer grinders that work together and things like that.
More efficient, probably too.
A lot more efficient, definitely. But I mean,
a lot less manual labor.
The production capabilities are different also. Packaging. One of the biggest questions, we always ask, do you want paper wrap,
paper or plastic,
paper or vacuum pack? And I don't know. I'll be brutally honest. I know that, like, you look at research and it says that, the vac packing is so much better. You give paper wrapping. I'll take paper wrapping any day of the week because
I'm glad you brought that up because I wouldn't have even thought of it being an option to choose between. And I mean, you see everybody's really gone to the vacuum pack, but you prefer paper.
I prefer paper because
you need to remember that.
My thing is, like, on a vac pack, if we send everything out in boxes. And so, you take this meat home, and what's the first thing you do is they take it and they dump it in their freezer. Now, some people gently do things, or they take it and they dump it in a cooler, and anytime you run the risk of puncturing that vacuum pack, you're sunk.
Now, of course, your retail space, clear packaging, you get to see what you're gonna
for sure.
have. But if I'm just taking it home, I know it's all my beef. I know what it is. Then, longevity.
I think your longevity on the paper is going to be a little better. I mean,
Noted.
Somebody might disagree
Learned
with me,
something new today.
But that's kind of, I don't know, one of my that's a preference of mine. Yeah.
Chris, I always like to kind of wrap up interviews. Now, we know that your plan A was an ag teacher.
Ironically.
No?
Ironically, in in 1992, whenever I was a freshman at Mizzou, I was an animal science and food science double major. And so my plan is to go back and, I'm going to do this and go back to the business. And I decided that, Michelle and I got married while we were in college, and Mizzou wasn't a fit for us at the time, and so we came back to Missouri State, and
So what led to teaching ag then? So teaching ag was your plan B?
Teaching ag kind of was my plan B.
Okay.
But I would say Jerry Crownover.
A strong name in
oh my gosh, yeah,
Missouri, and ag education as a whole.
And my thing is I don't know. I think that it was a calling. You hear that in terms of, either calling for the pulpit or calling for education or whatever.
Well, to be a teacher for that long, and especially ag education, you have to have the bug. You have to have that passion.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it was great. It it was a great career, but whenever I was ready to do something different, I knew it was time. What an old timer always told me one time, you'll know whenever it's time to leave, and it doesn't matter if it's at year 2 or if it's year 40. So I mean that's you just know whenever it's time. But yeah, so that's I guess I'm going back to my plan A.
You are. You're at your plan A now.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, one last thing. If there was one thing you want people to know about where their meat comes from and about meat as a whole and that local concept, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I think that if somebody, and I don't know if this is the direction that you want me to go with, or kind of your question, if you are looking to fill your freezer and you want to buy a whole beef, a half a beef, or whatever, do your research. Don't as you're scrolling through Facebook and somebody says, "I got a half a beef for sale."
Know who you're buying.
Know who you're buying your meat from. And my thing is, even your local processors, for instance, if you call me and you say, I want a half a beef or I want a whole beef, I've got 2 families that I've been buying carcass beef from. And they do it for a living. This is, one is, in Jasper, Missouri, and the other one's over just in the edge of Kansas by Men Mines, Missouri. And so, I know I've been to their facilities. I've seen what they do. I've, done their consistent product. And also, like on the hog side, I've got the guys that I'm buying hogs from. I know what it is, and I know I'm sending out a good product. And I hope that they're happy with that. But be careful on who you're buying from. Don't. Yeah, that's kind of my biggest thing.
Good advice. Good advice. So, Cloud Meats, where can we learn more about you?
Oh gosh, cloudsmeats.com. We've also got a Facebook page. Probably our Facebook page is probably the best one. And you just type Clouds Meats into the search bar, and you'll get to see. We've got a pretty good presence on our Facebook page. And we kind of list our specials on there and things like that. Like this week, I think that we have all frozen steaks are 10% off.
Oh.
So, that's kind of throw that out there. But
well, Chris,
anyway.
Thank you for letting us go beyond the gate with you and learn more about your family business and what it means to raise and purchase freezer beefs, freezer hogs. And the impact that you all have, but also the importance of buying local.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining me for another episode of Beyond the Gate. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. New episodes drop every other Wednesday. For more content, follow Around the Ozarks and Beyond the Gate on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to the daily newsletter at aroundtheozarks.com. Join us next time for more stories of grit, growth, and the spirit of rural life.